how's everyone? I hope everyone is having a great day. I hope everyone is enjoying their Sunday, their Labor Day weekend, going camping, or if they want to go swimming in their local pool or the beach, wherever you are, whether you are a day away, 5 hours away, 24 hours away. Of course, that's a day away. But wherever you are, I love you. I just hope everyone is enjoying their Labor Day weekend though. Um I want to get started on Aretha Franklin's funeral, which happened last Friday, a couple of days ago. And I have mixed feelings about that funeral because a lot has went on and there has been so much conversation surrounding that funeral, and it's mainly not been about Aretha. So first and foremost, Aretha's family, a couple of days prior to the funeral, asked Ariana Grande to perform due to the fact that she moved them with her performance of You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman, which of course was a cover of Aretha Franklin. And I believe that was shortly after Aretha passed away, or she heard that Aretha Franklin was sick. I'm not sure if this was before Aretha passed or after, but I heard that performance, and Ariana Grande, first of all, you can say what you want about Ariana Grande, but that girl can blow. Like, she is genuinely talented. That's just how she sounds. She is one of my favorite vocalists of this generation. Like, I could put her up with Mariah Carey, Christina Aguilera, Beyonce, the more modern day women of, the 90s to the 2000s. I could put her up there with those women. I want Normani to be next. We need another black girl vocalist. Okay, we can't just have this white girl here. But Ariana Grande is a favorite of mine, and there was a time where I wasn't really here for her because I thought I'm not really here for some of the lyrics. She did too much Ave back in the day, like Christmas and Chill. She was kind of getting too comfortable with, you know, her little black scent in some of her songs. And she did have a black scent, and people criticized her for that. There was one song off of Dangerous Woman where she said we got that hood love, and I'm like, Ariana Grande, what hood love you talking about? Okay, what you mean? Have you seen a princess be a bad bitch? You ain't no bad bitch, girl. You can't be a bad bitch. That's a term that black girls created. Okay, you can be a mamma mia because you Italian. Okay, but no, that's fucked up. Nah, no, I'm like 3% Italian anyway. My auntie's 12%. Are European and no, but. No, I love Ariana Grande. She has great music. Like I said in my last video, Sweetener is a good album. I personally prefer Dangerous Woman and Yours Truly. And My Everything was good as well. I actually underrated My Everything because when My Everything came out, like I said, I wasn't really feeling Ariana Grande at the time. So I listened to it a couple of times, but then I kind of put it on the back burner. But then I started listening to it again, and she has some really good songs, like Only One. What's the song that sampled Diana Ross's I'm Coming Out? Hands on Me, which when I first heard Hands on Me, I thought, no. Like that song, see, that's what I was talking about when I said that Ariana Grande gets a little bit too comfortable. And I feel like it maybe her label that tries to market her to black people, and some of her songs kind of sound pandering. But when I heard Hands on Me, I was like, ugh. But actually, I like the song now because Ariana Grande grew on me. And what really changed my mind about her was when she was talking about Black Lives Matter in 2016. That was when she was releasing Dangerous Woman. And I felt like, okay, like, even though she does kind of venture into black music, or she makes music that's predominantly made by black women, she still respects the people in the genre, and she wants to say Black Lives Matter. She makes black music and she's saying Black Lives Matter, and that's what I liked about her. And of course, with the whole Manchester bombing, it kind of made me look at Ariana Grande in a new light, because she didn't deserve what happened then, and she doesn't deserve what is happening to her now. So many people have been slut shaming that girl because she came on stage to Aretha's funeral in a short black dress, appropriate for a funeral. But so many people said it was too short. She was showing too much leg. Apparently, Bill Clinton was staring at her, which I believe was a reach. Even though I don't really like Bill Clinton for obvious reasons, I think that was a reach. But what was not a reach was the bishop touching her left side boob like this, and she's trying to pull away, and she's looking like, I'm not really feeling it, but I can't make a scene. But he keeps his hand around her, and she's kind of trying to politely pull away, but he's like gripping her, and she looks visibly uncomfortable. Of course, she's not going to make a scene because she is trying to respect the Queen of Soul, and this man is literally groping her on live television, and no one says anything about that. Her fans have to make a big stink about it for people to now talk about it. But before then, people were talking about her dress and how she tempted men and how these men were staring at her and how she didn't have respect for the black church. First of all, it had nothing to do with religion, okay? It had to do with people being upset that men were turned on by this girl. She's not a girl, but people treat her like a girl, and she's 25. She's older than me, okay? And she's treated like a young girl, but then also she gets slut shamed. And I think it's because she's naturally sexy. Even though she has a very childlike image, or she's very cute, innocent appearing, and she markets herself to children. Like, she's very marketable to children, but she still owns her sexuality. Even though she makes herself child friendly, for her kids and her fans, she's still sexy, and she owns that. And it's a duality for her. It's not a binary. She's not one or the other. And I think that's what pisses people off about Ariana Grande, is that she's not afraid to be sexy, but she's still her own style. She's conservative in my opinion. She's not even like the most out there artist, but she's still sexy. She's singing about dicks now, and I think people are pissed off because she does have this innocent flair to her, but she lets people know, I am not a child, I am a grown woman. And that's why so many people talk shit about her and her music, and she has good music. It may not be your thing, but you can't say that Ariana Grande is trash. And I think it's misogyny to say so, because she is feminine, and she talks about sex more often, and she wears thigh highs, and she wears the ponytails and the corsets. That's just her style. And, that's always going to be Ariana Grande's style until maybe she's about, 40. Maybe that's her shtick. But people were saying, well, if Ariana Grande didn't want to be touched, then she shouldn't have been a slut. A fucking reverend said that. Basically called her outfit slutty. And here's the thing that pisses me off. How are you so classy, but you cussing? Slut, whore, those are profanities. And you talk about how, we don't curse and we don't say this, but yeah, y'all quick to say slut and whore, which are basically curse words to me. Those are curse words. Those are slurs. And y'all sitting up here in your pews looking down at this woman because, she didn't dress like it was 1972. You know what I mean? Y'all try to compare her to Fantasia and who else? Fantasia and Jennifer Hudson's. I was about to say Jennifer Lewis. Y'all are comparing her to Fantasia and Jennifer Hudson, who are about 20 years older than her, and saying that she should have dressed like them. No, she's 25. She's a young woman. She's not going to dress like it's 1972, and she's not going to dress like an old church lady. And y'all can forever be mad at that. Is that guy looking at me? Are you fucking kidding me? You stop fucking doing tricks. You just trying to look. Fucking hate. All of these white people outside be staring and shit. Anyway. Ariana Grande was not going to dress like she was an old lady. She dressed like normal girls dress to church. Like, look at this outfit. This is something I would wear to church. And it's like kind of off the shoulder. I could like pull it up like this. But, it's kind of like, you can't really see it. I'm showing everything. But this is something like I would like wear to church. Like, I got outfits that I've like worn to church and no one said anything. No one dare said shit to me. All you old people talking shit about these young women and young girls and stuff like that, and saying they little whores and sluts. Y'all wouldn't dare say that to their faces because their uncles, uncles. Y'all know their aunties and their uncles and their moms and daddies will slap the fucking shit out of you if you try to say some shit. So y'all some cowardly bitches because y'all want to sit up here and call like these innocent girls whores and sluts, but then ignore the men that stare at them and touch them inappropriately. And what pissed me off was when I was talking to this woman and I told her just that, she gonna sit there and say, child, don't start with me. Like, bitch, you know these men around you are perverted. You know that these men look at these young girls, but you're jealous because you are a hateful, misogynistic cunt that wants to blame these girls instead of your husband or older men who are luring these girls, who are basically looking at their legs and telling them to cover up so as to not tempt them, and then try to come for my edges. And if you follow me on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter and you see like how I got my hair now, my edges in the picture, they are laid, okay? My hairdresser did me good. So she really tried it. And black women will be so quick to get mad when people judge them on their hair. But what's the first thing they do when another black woman outsmarts them and they cannot win an argument? Always got to talk about their hair because that's the only thing they know. So, and she got 2 girls too. Now, say somebody talks about her girls. Now she'd be upset, but here she is, cursing out 25 and under-year-old girls about how they dress slutty and inappropriately. Like this grown woman who's probably like 40 or so talking about these young girls, and she got 2 daughters herself, and like God forbid someone talks about her own daughters and she would probably say, well, my daughters are classy and they aren't slutty. But you know what, people will still say that about those girls, and you know it. So I don't have respect for women like that. I don't have respect for the bishop. I was actually embarrassed because I thought this would be a good viewing, to honor Aretha's funeral and a reason as to why we love the black church so much. But I actually saw everything wrong with the black church. The slut shaming, the respectability politics. Reverend Jasper Williams, who actually is close with Aretha Franklin because he was on Aretha Franklin's 1987 gospel album. Like he has an interlude there where he's talking about Aretha Franklin. He did a eulogy and said that black mothers cannot raise 2 boys on their own. That single black mothers cannot raise 2 sons. And he said things that bordered on homophobia and sexual shaming and all of that. And that is the reason why I don't really like going to these conservative black churches, because you really want to feel the Lord. You want to feel the Spirit, but then all the judging and the shaming, it's a turn off. And I can't respect a place like that that's supposed to be about love and acceptance. Jesus loved sex workers. Jesus loved whores and sluts. But here you are calling women those names, and you are shaming gay people and all of that. And for what? Because of some man-made book? Because the Bible was man-made. The Bible is just an interpretation of God. It's not real. There's some facts to the Bible, but everything in the Bible is not real. Come on, a fucking 3-headed dragon that shoots out fire from its mouth. Come on. But I was actually embarrassed because y'all really didn't have to act that way. And I'm not trying to talk about reverse racism or say that it's real, because it's not. But y'all are very disrespectful to Ariana Grande and Faith Hill. Those women were invited on stage to honor Aretha Franklin. And for you guys to say, oh, they shouldn't have brought those white girls on there and, get some real people up there. Like, no, that's disrespectful. Like, that was fake woke. It was very fake woke. There was no reason to bring up the fact that Faith Hill is... I hope I did not say Faith Evans, because one time I got them mixed. But I hope Faith Hill and Ariana Grande, I hope if y'all invite them to places again, they don't show up, because if y'all gonna treat them like that, no, I wouldn't feel welcome either. And that's just from my perspective. If I am invited to something that is foreign to me, and I'm just trying to respect people, and you got these nasty people saying all types of names and call me a slut and a whore and acting like they care about their culture when they don't, shit, I wouldn't want to come to that particular place ever again. And this was supposed to be a day to honor Aretha, and to talk about how she was against respectability politics, and even though that she was a woman of God, she was very liberal. You know, she liked to show her skin. She liked to show her legs. She was not shy of taking off her shirt and showing her fat and flaps and everything, because y'all seem to forget that this was a fat black woman who evaded respectability politics. Aretha Franklin was not just a singer. She was a fat black woman. And that's one thing that I respected about Aretha, because she was the epitome of a strong, independent black woman who didn't need a man, but she wanted a man. And that's what I loved about Aretha. You know, if y'all talk about strong, independent black women who don't need no man, that was Aretha Franklin. And, you know, of course, she had men in her life, but she didn't need them. She didn't. There goes that person on that scooter again. But this funeral to me was a disaster. The only good thing about the funeral were the Clark sisters, Fantasia. She did amazing. Who else? Shaka Khan, Stevie Wonder. Oh, and Jasper Williams tried to say that a black on black crime was a thing and black lives do not matter because we kill each other. But guess what? Stevie Wonder came up and said black lives do matter, and then gonna look in his direction. And Stevie Wonder's supposed to be blind, but somebody said Quincy Jones Ben said that he can see a little, you know, because I'm like, how did he know that he was sitting over there? But honestly, I was actually watching this Hey Arnold episode where they're on the subway, and a character, a blind man on the subway said, you know, when your vision goes and your other senses kick in, so you can kind of like sense somebody, you know, there, even though you can't see. But yeah, somebody said, if you blind, how can you like know where to look in his direction? But maybe like he sensed it, or he just knew he was there because of like, you know, the voice. Like he probably heard him speak, you know, from that direction, and then looked at that direction. So that's probably what it is. I don't really like blind Stevie Wonder jokes. He makes blind jokes, but y'all go overboard with them. But Stevie Wonder, that's my man. You know, Taurus, Aretha Franklin, Aries, Beyonce, Virgo, and my rising is Aries. My moon is Virgo, and my sun, of course, is Capricorn. And my Venus and Mars are Capricorn. And my black moon Lilith is Aries. So I'm mostly Aries and Capricorn. So Capricorn and Aries rule everything around me. Okay, baby, cream. Cream, baby. Capricorn rules everything around me. But I talked a lot about Aretha Franklin and Ariana Grande, and I actually want to talk about what else happened this week. I feel like I covered a whole lot. But I wanted to talk about something else, and I totally forgot. What was it? What happened this week? Oh, John McCain. So John McCain passed away last week, you know, as we all know. And he had his funeral yesterday. My mom actually watched it. And RIP. RIP. You know, he was problematic. He was a war criminal. If you don't want to wish him RIP, then don't wish him RIP for that. You know, he was a bigot. The man was a bigot, and they trying to make it like he wasn't because he was friends with Barack Obama, despite, you know, the controversy in 2008 where he said a lot of problematic things. You know, he was trying to get rid of MLK Day, and I believe Romney was also trying to get rid of Black History Month. But I guess now that he's dead, people want to have some respect. You know, I feel bad for his daughters. I feel bad for his wife, his mother, who's 106, and she's still alive. And it must be tough to be that old and to lose a son. It's like it should be the other way around, because he was 81 and he died of brain cancer, and I don't wish that on everyone. So when I heard that he passed, it was just like, oh, well, that's a shame. RIP. But Obama spoke at his funeral and Trump didn't, because McCain did not invite Trump. But I mean, y'all can say how y'all feel, you know. Just because, like, y'all think because somebody is cool with a black person or they don't agree with every aspect of being a Republican or because they don't like Trump that they not racist. The man was a bigot. He was a bigot. And I'm not going to say that he deserved to die. I'm not going to wish death on anybody, like somebody, that I feel like was a bigot but had the ability to change. I think that he was somebody that kind of saw the error in his ways. So that's why I'm kind of restraining myself from really going in on him, because I think he realized that some of the stuff that he said was wrong, and probably was guilt, during a time where he's about to die. And that probably kind of kicked in with him. But my thing is, y'all try to rewrite history for somebody just because they're dead, and think that when somebody dies, then they're suddenly pure, that we're pure in death. No. Like, if you don't want people to talk bad about you in death, then don't talk bad about people in life. Don't do bad things in life. And that's all I have to say for that. R.I.P. John McCain. I feel bad for his daughter because she was crying. She couldn't contain herself. But as far as the other stuff, I'm going to criticize Trump. I'm not Trump, sorry. Freudian slip. I'm going to criticize McCain about that. Oh, and one last thing. Azealia Banks and Wildin' Out. Okay, first of all, how the hell is Chloe and Halle, two cute little girls, where they're not really girls, but like, early 20s, late teens. How can they handle Wildin' Out, but not Azealia Banks, who cried when DC Young Fly roast her about her underbite. He does the this, and I that took me out. I'm sorry, but I laughed. I wasn't even laughing about the fact that he was coming for Azealia. I was laughing at the face he was making and the ridiculous stuff. It's not even so much what he says; it's just how he delivers things. And DC Young Fly is actually funny, and I mean, I'm sure he's problematic, but he's not like the worst comedian I've seen. I actually watch some of the stuff that he does on World Star Hip Hop, and I follow his baby mama who sells lipstick, Miss Jackie O. Like, they're actually cool people. Like, I mean, there was a time where his baby mama said something about why do dark skinned girls have a problem with the fact that black guys like lighter skinned girls. And she's mixed. She's I wouldn't say she's kind of white passing, but you can look at her and tell that she probably half black. I actually like her though, but DC Young Fly to me has said worse things about his light skinned baby mama and B Simone, another light skinned woman, than dark skinned women. I've never heard him say anything disparaging about gay people, trans people, dark skinned women. So when I heard Azealia say that he was colorist, I didn't want to act like she was lying, because, I thought, well, I wouldn't put it past the people on Wildin' Out, because they actually have a strong cast of light-skinned, racially ambiguous women, especially back in the day with Lauren Wood, Jennifer Mess, and a lot of the Instagram models that I follow and you may see on your Instagram. I don't care if they're light skinned or racially ambiguous. If you cute and you got good style, I'ma fucking follow you, okay? Like some girls was telling me, well, I don't follow light skinned Instagram models, which I understand, that's your preference, but I follow any Instagram model that's cute. I follow dark skinned Instagram models. And I actually like Jenna blocked me a couple years ago because she had said something about don't have children unless they are mixed, or it was Black History Month, or no, it was MLK Day, and she said, fuck racism, have mixed babies, and we dragged her for that, and she blocked. I'm sorry, but it was just because that pissed me off. I'm sorry, but she blocked me on Twitter, but I still follow her on Instagram. And she actually liked some of my comments, and we actually had like a conversation, like the comment section, so I just find it so funny. But I actually wanted to be on Wildin' Out. I actually thought that it seemed cool. But Azealia Banks was talking about how they were colorists because they said that Nick Cannon was so petty because instead of getting Cardi B, he had to get Azealia Banks' old ugly ass. And that's in DC Young Fly's words. And my thing is, like, from reading it, it sounded like he was trying to say that Azealia Banks was ugly because she's dark skinned and Cardi B is the pretty girl. But ugly ass is a phrase that a lot of comedians say, a lot of black male comedians use. Yo, with your ugly ass. And that's basically the connotation that DC Young Fly used. He was just he was just picking on her. He wasn't for real. He didn't understand why Azealia Banks felt the way that she did. I watched the whole thing. It was really blown out of proportion. They really went easy on her. And Azealia, to me, it seemed as if she was just mad that they got her. Because as someone else said, you want to call people tar babies and roaches and all of that and thinking it's funny. But then somebody calls you ugly ass in comparison to a light-skinned black woman and they didn't even mean it in a colorist way. And all of a sudden you boo-hooing about how it's colorism and anti-blackness just because you couldn't come back with a good roast. Okay, and that's all that was. I think she was just mad because she didn't really have anything else to say. She couldn't come back with any good jokes. So she just fell on the anti-blackness and wanted to kind of call foul on the fact that people were getting her good. And I'm not here for bullying, but Wild 'N Out is a show where you roast each other. It's all in fun. Chloe and Halle got the same treatment and they handled it well. They got Nick Cannon good. And I'm not sure what DC Young Fly said to them, but I'm sure he comes for everybody. And he's generally a funny person. So I don't think he's colorist. I think Azealia Banks just blew out of proportion and was mad that she couldn't come back with a good insult. And she tried to come for DC Young Fly. And he ran across the stage and did that skippy motion. And you knew that. I see that's happened to me before. I would try to roast somebody and these guys would start running and skipping around and I knew that they were about to light my ass up good. and that's what happened. And Azealia was trying to say that it was colorism that influenced them to come for her. And DC Young Fly even said in an interview, yo, Ma, I am doing a video right now. I am almost finished. Anyway, I'm sorry, that was rude. Ma, no, because I don't like people interrupting. DC Young Fly in the interview even said that the girl was coming for him 3 times and he just wanted to say something to her because the only thing he knew about Azealia was that she likes to talk about other people. So he was just trying to get something in for her. And he finally said something when she talked too much shit. And it was just kind of like, you got what you deserve, and that's how I feel. So, and because of that, that actually gave Wild 'N Out more promotion, and I actually find it quite funny. Yeah, some of the stuff is kind of problematic, but I feel if it gets too bad, Nick Cannon is not going to just stand there and let something happen to a black woman. There was actually a time where Yes Jules try to comfort this black girl and say, I can take your man. And Nick Cannon was like, yo, why are you hating on her? Why you gotta comfort this black girl for? And he didn't say it in those words, but that's what he was thinking. We were all thinking that. And Yes Jules, I don't like the woman. But I remember Nick Cannon, like, if things go too far, Nick Cannon or somebody is going to say something. They are not going to get to a point where it's just mudslinging and it's all fun and games. And like I said, Chloe and Halle were on there and they didn't have a problem. And these are young girls, young visibly black girls, who probably get a lot of shit from people, and they handled it well. But then of course I think because they went easy on them, but still, like, because they know if they were to say something really bad that we would go in on them. But that's all I have to say for now. I hope everyone is having a great day. I love y'all. Follow me on Patreon, Kara D. Meeks. I do a lot of fan casting. I don't know why we do that. That's kind of childish. But I don't want to really give away the story that I'm writing, but it's really good. It's really good, and it's influenced off of some of my favorite stories I've read, like The Godfather and 1984, and Gossip Girl. Like, that's such a really weird combination, but it's really just about young black college students and dealing with all types of issues, and that's kind of vague, but it's basically a coming of age story. So you would you would see more details on it. So just please support me in my writing career, and I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Bye.